And as I was trying to get work done, I got a phone call from the same number like 3 times in a row. And it was a scammer. I know I'm dumb, but I feel like I have a little leeway with that. At least that's what I'm going to tell myself. They're like, we're sending over an email right now to open up a case file with this because someone's been trying to get into your account. And thank you to everyone's goodwill who was so convinced I would not do a crypto scam that even when it was a video of me, they said it had to be AI.
This guy doesn't deserve it. Good morning, everyone. If there's one topic that interests me the most, it has to be crypto scams. And what I mean by that exactly is like big people on Twitter promoting it where they got hacked and there's some bizarre coin under their name. In recent, one poor son of a gun that's been a victim of this is a beloved YouTuber, Wendigoon. And initially, I thought it was hilarious because the idea of him promoting one is pretty funny. But for this video, where we see his response, I did start feeling bad for him being under the brunt of all this stress. The video I'll be reacting to was made by the incredible Slop Mule, so please go check him out after this, because he did cover all the steps of the story, and trust me, every bit of this story is just wild.
No longer a scammer, I think, probably.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone watching today's Slop Mule video, how have you been? Today we've got an interesting slop topic to dive into, which is Wendigoon being hacked. Now, if you're unaware, a few days ago, Wendigoon, well, got hacked. This is not a drill. My own official meme coin is now live on pump.fun.
You know, I respect the scammer, right? Because, you know, they had an AI image of his, you know, his lovable mug. And it doesn't look that bad.
Thank you to my team for helping me set this up. So just take a look at it, right? It's the most obvious hack of...
Also, I love it. You know, their mentality to make sure, you know, that the fans believe it. It's just saying, this is not a drill. Oh, okay, it must be real then. It's not a drill.
On pump.fun. Thank you to my team for helping me set this up. So just take a look at it, right? It's the most obvious hack of all hacks ever, right? There is not one more hack that looks more like a hack than this hack. I know I've just said hack quite a bit. But there was something that threw off the people with zero...
Guys, FYI, if you're a favorite creator, you know, that has never dabbled into Bitcoin or sort of crypto coins, you know, if they did maybe market one, they probably advertise it first, you know, before a week or a month. Potentially, I feel like
brain cells.
They wouldn't, you know, just throw it out there out of nowhere.
And the brain structure of somebody like Anissa and iDubbbz, and it was this video that Wendigoon then posted.
The video of me, my face. Here's the details on the paper. Backwards.
So this proved some people off, right? Some people were pretty confused by this, right? Thinking, oh god, well, he might not.
Was that video like before the hack, or like so by the hacker?
The video of me, my face. Here's the details on.
What does that say? I can barely read that.
Paper. Backwards.
So this proved some people off, right? Some people were pretty confused by this, right? Thinking, oh god, well, he might have not actually been hacked here. I mean, still very obviously he was hacked, but some people got tricked here. Of course, Wendigoon was hacked. He didn't sell out to crypto like Logan Paul or the Hook Tour gal, right? He didn't do that. Was hacked. And unfortunately, this is where Slopception happens, right? Slopinception, where Pyrocynical was involved. It's great. Pyrocynical actually made a video on this situation where he had reached out to Wendigoon to ask him about...
You know, I'm gonna shit on Pyro Live in this video for quite a bit, but this is the one time, like, you know, he actually, like, drags his, you know, his own weight and, like, does a good due diligence.
If he had been
like good unique due diligence. Like, I'm not sure if anybody else before him reached out to Wendigoon for this.
And if it was okay for him to cover this situation, and Wendigoon had actually sent him a video for this video.
I
respect the Slop game as much as anybody else, right? My channel is literally called Slop Mule, right? But you don't realize how much Pyrocynical waffles and you were sitting here making a video.
No, I'm sorry. I think Pyro Live, he's in a league of his own. That guy makes like a fucking 20 minute long video, and the actual meat of it is like just 3 or 4 minutes. That's it. The rest 17 minutes, it's just fucking bullshit, dude.
The exact same topic he's made a video on, to realize that he takes about 20 minutes to get through the same stuff that it would take me about 2 minutes to get through.
Like, if you want to waffle, that's fine, do it on stream. But like, don't give me like a random anecdote, you know, about when you were fucking a kid and playing like a fucking game on your Xbox. I don't care.
But look, game is game. I can't hate on a fellow slopper. That sounds just incredibly weird.
Wendigoon on Instagram and basically said to him, hey, hope you're doing all right. Do you need like any kind of help getting back into your account? Because as you guys know, I got Twitter back a couple of years ago after being suspended for like 6 years, which was looking back on it, a massive, huge mistake. And then I basically also asked him for permission to actually, you know, talk about the topic because I didn't want to cover this and then bring more attention to it if he wanted to not really have it talked about that much, but he gave me full consent. And he actually even at one point recorded an entire video breaking down step by step what actually happened.
Oh, look, I'll be going over some of the things that Wendigoon actually speaks about in this video here, but I don't just want to do a recap of another.
I want to say, like, you know, like what party messed up, because like I've seen like 2 or 3 big people that seem way too smart to not get hacked. Like, number one, right, is Asmon Gold. He had like that weird fucking shit back like in November. And also you had Dean Norris, you know, the actor for Hank in Breaking Bad. I think it would make sense for Dean Norris to get hacked because he's an old man. I'm sorry. But for someone like Asmon Gold, you know, to get hacked and promote a crypto coin, I want to see, like, you know, how complex is this when an account that big on Twitter just get, you know, breached.
A slot video inside a slot video, that just doesn't seem good. Because of course, I have been waiting for Wendigoon's official response to this, and he dropped an 8-minute video on his Twitter, which is the main thing we're going to be covering, but I do want to quickly just go over what he sent Pyrocynical, as that is quite a big puzzle piece.
I was recording a video a couple days ago, and I also had family in Memorial Day here in the United States. So I was kind of rushed between doing the video and trying to spend time with them, and everything was really hectic. And then I get a call from a phone number that's a 201 area code.
I respect him way more, right? Because he made like an actual 8-minute long response. Some people like Asmon Gold, like they will have like their fans, you know, fall to the trap and be like, hey guys, you know, it's not me, sorry, that's it. But he seems like a Wendigoon, like, you know, he made like a nice, good, lengthy response. I respect that.
Not ID, just location. Calls a couple times, and after like the third time, I'm like, well, maybe this is something important or someone who knows me. Normally, I just ignore random phone calls. So I answer it, and someone who says, hello, we're with X moderation team, or with X content team or policy team, whatever. What, like, X? What are you talking about? And then the guy laughs, and he's like, sorry, Twitter. Important thing to note, guy spoke perfect English, seemed very casual over the phone call. I've had scam callers before. He did not sound like any one of them. He's part of the moderation team, and I am a...
Oh, they called him, and they tricked him? Oh, God. I thought it was gonna be like one of those things where he goes like to like a bad website and they shield his logins, and that's how. Oh, poor bastard.
Verified user or priority user or whatever. So they were calling to inform me that there were a series of attempts to get into my account from Colorado. They said that there were 5 in a row.
Look, I'm going to be trying to be charitable and reasonable and fair here and not just shit on Wendigoon for falling for this, right? Falling for this obvious hack. Because of course, this can happen to anybody. You can pick up the phone, be having a bad day, and you can fall for this. Of course, it goes without saying, if you do receive a suspicious phone call or a phone call that you're not really aware of or you're not very familiar with, that you shouldn't do anything with that phone number or what they tell you to do. You should just make sure and verify that you're talking to the people.
I mean, to be fair, they added that once more detail of like calling it X instead of Twitter. That's insanely detailed.
They say they are.
Through a cookie thing, like a cookie hack or cookie entry or whatever. And I was suspicious, and I said, okay, so what do you want me to do? And he said, we're going to send you an email with, we're going to open a complaint number. So if you want to read the complaint number back to me to verify that it's you, that'd be great. And
also, would Twitter, I'm sorry, I don't want to, you know, dog on Wendigoon too much, but would Twitter ever call you? I feel like they would like send you a DM personally on the Twitter app, or like send you maybe an email, but like they wouldn't start off, you know, calling you first. It feels very rare.
I said,
it feels impossible, actually.
Okay, well, how do I know that you're not a scammer? And he was like, you think I'm a scammer? And I'm like, yeah, how do I verify that this isn't a scam thing I'm talking to? And he's like, well, it's really good that you're aware of these kind of things, but we're sending an email right now for confirmation. And the email he sent was from twitter.com. It was like support-twitter.com. And then there's a link, and when you click on the link, it takes you to an overlay that says like twitter.com or whatever.
And of course, this is...
this sounds like really detailed. Like, they got everything down to a small point. Like, it probably wasn't like the actual like Twitter logo or whatever. So it wasn't like the actual Twitter link, but like, you know, they altered it. Like by like a small underscore, it seemed like it was from Twitter. That's wild.
More understand.
These people seem like, you know, way more professional than your average scammer.
But yeah, this would look more legitimate.
I mean, I think like any fucking like dumb idiot could do this very easily, as long as, you know, they know what they're doing. Like the guy that hacked Dean Norris was like some dumb 17-year-old, and he like somehow did it some way somehow.
Because, you know, of course, recently Twitter changed into X, so you might not be thinking that their websites would have updated.
Oh my god, that's right. Yeah, it would just say X. It wouldn't say, oh fuck, that's right.
To X or anything, and this would look legitimate.
You know, I'm laughing at that right now, but like I would fall for that as well.
Because, you know, X has changed over everything from Twitter to X, unfortunately, so this is now something that can take place. And this is where I think I could be 100% more reasonable here, because, yeah, like, if you're clicking on this and you're actually being loaded onto Twitter, your first thought isn't, yeah, they might have already changed it to X. You know, that's probably not going to be your first thought.
He's like, can you read back the number on the ticket we sent you? So I read him the number back, and he's like, that number's actually not right. Here, let me talk to my manager. So he like puts me on hold for a minute, and then he comes back later, and he's like, okay, my manager said just to send another one. So he sends another one, and again, he's like, the numbers aren't correct. And he was like, okay, we can verify this another way. And he was like, we're going to send you another email. Once again, the email's from like support-Twitter or whatever.
Bro, at this point, if I were him, I'd be like, I don't care, and fucking hang up.
Whatever. He says, okay, we've sent you this other one. If you could click on the link, and all of the link, I have done a lot of like stuff with Twitter before, where you have like the black, or since it's been X, you have the black screen with like the logo at the top of the page. It looked like any other screen I would log on to on X. And also whenever I signed up for premium, or like the blue check mark on Twitter or X, whatever, they had me send in pictures of myself. They had, you know, like whenever you sign up, it's like send a picture or whatever. So I'm going through the stuff and I'm on the phone with him and I say, hey, what's it asking me to do? What's all this? And he's like, well, remember when you signed up to get your check mark, you had to do a picture. We're just taking extra steps to
Oh gosh, fucking hell.
verify. You have to write down your name, the date, and the code we're sending.
For that extra long clip, but Wendigoon was just
It
explaining.
seems like it seems like, you know, like there's not like that much of important details being sent to him. Like his face, you know, it's already public. I want to like, you know, like what fucking last part really got him. Like, you know, like would they like, you know, oh, send us your email, your password. We promise, you know, it's to help you out.
What had happened, and that's where that weird clip of him with the stuff on that notepad came from, where some people got confused if he was genuinely hacked or this was legitimate.
That was a real video. That was him. Bro, I saw his AI. Holy shit. Okay, you know what? These scammers, they're not your average dumb people. I respect them.
That came from that.
They're complete fucking worms. They're scammers. But at least, you know, they're a bit smart about it.
Hack through this. And like I said earlier about being fair and reasonable to Wendigoon in regards to this hack, this does sound very professional and very sophisticated. This doesn't sound like it's just a routine type of hack where, you know, it's very, very obvious. This seems like they've thoroughly thought this through. And of course, this wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for Elon Musk and X, right? Changing Twitter to X. This is all his fault at the end of the
I blame Elon Musk for getting Wendigoon hacked.
day.
your friend's laptop, and the cookie from that was used to gather your data through this means. So then that data got passed on to data brokers, and he talked to me for like 10-15 minutes about how to be safe online. At the end of the call, I thanked the guy and apologized to him for believing him to be a scammer. That's how hook, line, and sinker he had.
But yeah, like I said earlier, this was a very believable hack. This
Oh,
wasn't
God.
something that was done just...
Also, okay, seems like, you know, like the real important part was the video he sent I guess, you know, when it came to like hacking him, it wasn't that hard. But, you know, the real detail they wanted was, wait a second, no, I'm sorry. If you were a fan that bought a crypto coin, why would you watch that video and then buy the crypto? Like, if I wanted to, you know, really buy the crypto coin, I would hear him say, you know, on video, be like, guys, buy my new crypto. And, you know, like that would buy me in. But like, he didn't say at all. Like, he's in the video, you know, of his identity. That's really it. I mean, my point being that, right? If you still bought the crypto, you're an idiot. I'm
a
sorry.
random thought and notice. It wasn't one of the very, very obvious ones. This was something that was thoroughly thought out to the point where Wendigoon genuinely thought that this wasn't a scammer and apologized to the scammer for thinking he was a scammer.
My family went on our little excursion. My wife assumed that I would not be stupid enough to fall into a whole crypto thing. So she tweeted that the video was AI because she loves me. I thought there was no way I would be dumb enough to write all that down and do what I did, when in fact I was dumb.
Look, I do appreciate that he is self-aware, right? That was a dumb move.
Oh, it does feel like, you know, like one of those things where like, okay, there's no way he was being that dumb. Like, actually, okay, to be fair, right, to him, right, it seemed like every part of the process was completely professional. There was like no red herring to be like, is this fake?
And dumb mistake, and that he probably should have just spent a
It
bit
all seemed believable, to be fair.
longer verifying that what he was doing was actually correct and he was talking to the official people. But
Like, I feel like Azul, me, could fall for that.
from the sounds of it, this was a very, very sophisticated hack. It very much seemed like they're what they were doing. So yeah, I can kind of understand it a lot more than if it was just, you know, your routine hack that's very obviously a scam.
Acknowledge that I am dumb, that this was a very dumb decision.
Okay, if I was a scammer, right, I'd be like, you know, okay, send me a video with your name, date of birth, and, you know, a random word, and also be like, just read this thing on your phone. I'm Wendigoon, please buy my crypto, whatever that means. I would do that.
The moment I got a call from Twitter about my account being hacked, I should have known better. They would have sent me an email or maybe a DM. Like, at that point, I should have tapped out, and then all the steps that followed. They caught me at an opportune time where I was stressed with work, I was stressed with family, I had a lot of irons in the fire, and I had like gotten emails before about verifying my safety on Twitter because, you know, people can try to get into your account. So I just thought it was an extension of that.
Again, I appreciate him just being pretty self-aware that, yeah, this was a dumb move, dumb mistake, probably something that shouldn't have happened, and I should have probably just taken more time to make sure what was going on and what I was doing was actually correct. But at the end of the day, it does seem pretty sophisticated. As he said, he was busy, you know, caught him on a bad day, which, like I said earlier, is something that could happen to you, the viewer, could happen to me, could happen to anybody. Now, of course, the slop section's over. Bye-bye, Pyro Live. Now we're going to be going over, quickly, Wendigoon's 8-minute video he recently uploaded to Twitter.
Oh boy.
First step to get
I feel so bad for this poor bastard because number one, he got hacked, and second of all, he's bringing like a lot of backlash from his own fan base about, you know, them losing money.
out of the way. I'm
But
stupid.
again, like once again, right? You can blame him somewhat for, like, you know, his small lack of safety with his, you know, his logins. Fine, whatever. But like, if you bought into that crypto stuff, you're an idiot. I'm sorry.
I'm a very dumb and silly man.
Like, we've seen this story play out like 5 times already on Twitter. You should know better. I mean, like the fans, you know, not him. I mean,
and that's what caused this to happen. So I was recording a YouTube video. Also, by the way, all of this is mentioned by Pyro Cynical. He made a video about this over on his Pyro Live, and I gave him some info about what happened. So if you want a longer version, head to that video. Thanks, Pyro, for all the help with getting my account back.
That's why I briefly want to go over this. I don't want to go over it fully because, you know, we've just already gone over Pyro's video, but I do appreciate the transparency from Wendigoon here with an official response, an 8-minute response, you know, thoroughly going through everything, making sure people know and are aware of what's been happening.
wait a second. So in this response, he recounts what he told Pyro. Then why not just ignore Pyro and, you know, like, make the response anyways? Whatever. I don't know.
Well, we can't really talk to you about, you know, what we're doing until we verify that it's you. And then they asked for verification because their system wasn't working.
Realistically, this is a pretty big red flag, right? When they say their system is down, this isn't working, can you do this instead of this? That's usually a pretty
Should be fair to Wendigoon, right? Twitter has been down, actually. It's been an absolute mess.
big red flag. This is a scam, this is a hack of some
I'm
type.
sorry, these people are fucking rats, but they seem somewhat smart. Like, they know how to make a believable story, be like, oh, it is X. Oh, sorry, Twitter. Like, they seem actually somewhat smart, you know, on how to make, like, a believable lie. Holy shit.
This isn't legitimate.
Because I'm stupid. They had set up an authenticator app so that when I tried to log back in after the password reset, I was able to change the password and lock them out, but I can't log in because I don't have the authenticator.
And yeah, he actually spoke about this.
Wait, they made an app? Did he say they made a whole entire app for this sham?
In the Pyro Live bit, I just didn't go over it, it was pretty long.
Okay, hopefully enough like rich idiots sponge that crypto, cause they fucking earn the money with that shit.
Winded there, but he does sum it up there. He didn't have an authenticator app for his Twitter, which I highly recommend that if you have any account, so you have an authenticator app, it's incredibly useful, it protects your account, it's definitely worth doing.
And she just thought better of me when she shouldn't have. But I was being very dumb. That's on me. A bunch of people thought it was AI. I saw a bunch of people on Reddit and stuff who saw that video of me, and they were like, yeah, that has to be AI, which, by the way, I appreciate your all's goodwill to the degree that if you saw a video that was absolutely me pushing a crypto scam, you would still assume it's AI. That means a lot. I appreciate your all's trust to
I mean, so did I actually.
that degree. But no, that was me thinking it was for verification.
Also, I don't be mean to Wendigoon, right? But like, he does have a face where AI could easily redo it. Like, he has, zoom in real quick. Like, he has, like, you know, like tired eyes, you know, very mushy face. Like, the kind of face, you know, that you would see an AI engine recreate perfectly. Like, no offense to him at all.
Not knowing what it would get used for.
I don't blame anybody, including Wendigoon's partner, for believing that this was AI, right? It does just feel weird, it does look like a weird video, it does feel pretty random, and, you know, you probably wouldn't think in the moment that this would be for something entirely different that has now been used for this whole crypto scam thing. Again, this is a point where I do really respect the transparency here, I respect his openness, I respect that he's addressed this within this 8-minute video and cleared this all up. That's something that I do very much respect.
They were tricky. Yes, the guy I was talking to.
Yeah, because,
like,
again,
so,
people like fucking Asmon Gold, right? I mean, I don't have that much, I don't like him, right? But like, even then when he had like that whole crypto shit, all he made in response to that was like a one tiny tweet. Like, I think Asmon actually made a response first to the thing, and then Asmon followed it up. And I promise you, way more people fell for that than fucking, you know, this thing.
English, he did all of, they had all the right URLs spoofed in order to send these emails. Yes, it was a good scammer, but nevertheless, I got scammed because I did something stupid. And I appreciate every.
I don't really blame Wendigo. Like, for number one, right? You know, most people like him would fall for it, and second of all, he's being very stressed out, you know, but with the content, the family stuff. So I really don't blame him.
One who immediately recognized it as a scam. I really hope no one fell for that for the like 5 minutes it was up.
Again, at this point, you can only hold your hands up and say, yeah, I was dumb, I shouldn't have done this, I shouldn't have fallen for this, but at the end of the day, it happened, it was pretty professional, but at the end of the day, I made a mistake. That's again something I respect. Some people in his position wouldn't do that, probably wouldn't respond, probably would have just moved on, said, yeah, I've been hacked, this was a scam, whatever.
I want to say, like, did the video or the tweet, you know, having the video be like, oh, this is me, Wendigoon, did it have like the caption, you know, oh, like, to show that this is a real crypto thing, here's a video of me verifying it's me? That might be the case, actually.
Ignore this and moved on. So I do respect the transparency here and actually probably explaining himself. But that's all I want to go over for this Wendigoon slop pig, which I do want to say thank you for that word suggestion in the comments. That was a good one. If you do have any suggestions for other videos that you want me to go over, any slop pigs, anything else, please feel free to suggest that down in the comments down below. I really do want to cover other stuff as well, other than iDubbbz. I know all of you are really enjoying my iDubbbz coverage, which
you know, I respect this guy, Slop Mule, because for once, you know, we're getting something different apart from iDubbbz shit. God bless him, holy shit. Yeah, like, you know, I can't really like criticize him that much, because like throughout every single step, he did it right. I mean, of course, he fucked up with the scam part, but again, like, you know, it seemed like the entire process looked really, really professional. So I don't blame him. And even past that, right? You know, he followed it up pretty well. He deleted the tweet right after like 5 minutes, and then he talked with Pyro, you know, to clear the drama. And then after that, he made like a pretty good response, in my opinion. So yeah, aside from that, you know, I think some people have been way dumber, you know, and they barely give a response after, you know, from the fans being scammed. You know, I think people that fall for that, they're dumb, right? But you know, they're still your fans. You know, given like a small sorry, that would be enough, in my opinion.